Did you know that over half of Americans over the age of 65 still have a landline in their home? And what does a landline cost these days? Unfortunately, it's $75 a month, right? So that's not insignificant. That's a nice lunch out with your spouse or with a friend. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about 10 things that can either save money for you in retirement or help you make money in retirement to either have a more secure retirement or to reach your retirement goals sooner. So let's go for a walk and talk about some of these things. I mentioned the landline here first. Another thing that can save you money, and these are kind of the lesser things that are talked about, but staying healthy. Staying healthy can save you a ton of money. And, you know, yeah, most gym memberships now are $30 or $50 a month. But, you know, if you actually go to the gym and you stay healthy, boy, it's hard not to save 10 times that amount of money when you look at how expensive healthcare cost is, even with good insurance. So staying healthy is another powerful way to save money. And I want to share with you that towards the end, I'm going to give you a tip that is actually not my tip. One of our founding fathers, almost 300 years ago, shared with us this tip, the tip I'm going to share with you. So be sure to stay to the end because I think you're going to find it helpful and you're going to say, you know, these are just perpetual truths. They're just as true today, probably more true today than when this founding father mentioned it. Okay, let's keep going. Another thing, and you've heard me mention it before, it tends to be the least sacrificial way to save money, and it tends to have the biggest impact, and that is if you can find joy in driving a used car as opposed to a new car. It tends to be outside of lodging. It tends to be, for most Americans, our biggest expense. The average family spends $900 a month on transportation. And I don't want to belabor the point. If it's something that brings you a lot of joy, you go ahead and do that, right? It's your money. None of this is prescriptive. It's all just descriptive. But if the average family is spending $900 a month, if you can bring that down to $500 a month, you're going to save about an extra $5,000 a year. And that's a lot of money. So it can have a big impact. Okay, another thing is downsizing your home. Right? Probably when you were raising your family, you needed a bigger house. And it's not just the cost of the house, but it's the cost of maintenance on the house. So in my wife and I's case, when the kids were younger, we had a bigger house than frankly we needed. Even with the kids, it was 5,000 square feet. But now we've sold that house. The kids are gone. They're in college. And so we have a house that's probably between 1,500 and 1,700 square feet. And it's perfect for us. And again, that's something that can really move the needle. Another thing that can really move the needle for you, and is probably the most powerful item on this list, is thinking about having what I call a side hustle in retirement. So, and a side hustle is just having a job that maybe is something that was a hobby, but you could get paid to do this. So, or it was a derivative, it was related to a skill that you had when you were working. And there's different side hustles. If you look at kind of what nomadic people do, younger people when they're nomadic, teaching English to people that, you know, grew up outside of the United States. It tends to be kids. You get hired by mom and dad, but those jobs can pay $20, $25 an hour. And there's different platforms, and you can do that. You can do that on the internet, so you can do it from anywhere. If you're traveling, if you're on vacation. This is not a sponsored video, but there is a website called VIP Kids that hire people. And the thing most people don't realize is you don't need to speak that foreign language. So if you're teaching a child from Korea, you don't need to speak Korean. In fact, they don't want you speaking Korean. So side hustle can really make a difference. If you can make an extra $20,000 a year, that's kind of the equivalent, not quite, but it takes the burden off of about $500,000 a year that you no longer need to provide that cash flow. It's not 100% there, but it puts you in the ballpark, and it can also be a good source of health insurance for you, depending on what the job is, if it offers health insurance. So that can be something that's really powerful. Another thing that can help you out that a lot of people forget about is having a high credit score. Maintain your credit score. Do what you can to keep it as high as possible. Even though you're probably not buying a house, you may not be buying a new car if you're following my advice earlier. But a high credit score helps you out in many ways. One is it can lower your insurance rates on many things. Your homeowner's insurance oftentimes has a credit score as to, how dependable is this person? How dependable people, in many ways, I think insurance companies feel we're lower risk. So homeowners insurance, car insurance, things like that, and can end up saving you thousands of dollars a year. So that can be really helpful. Another thing is when you travel, if you have more free time, or you have a job that gives you some flexibility on maybe being able to work remotely, like most of us had to during the pandemic. If you have that flexibility, maybe instead of taking 2 vacations a year overseas, each for a week, maybe you do one trip for 2 weeks. And it's less wear and tear on your body. It's better for the climate. It's better for the environment, the less travel that we do. It also saves you some money. And it allows you to explore a town in a different way than you would otherwise, right? When you're slow traveling, I think it's less about, checking the box and doing all the things that tourists are supposed to do when they're in a town, and more about connecting and learning about the culture, learning about the life of where you're at. So it can save you some money. It can also bring you joy in your life. So that's another thing to think about. Another one, kind of the whole gig economy right now, and some people have found joy in actually renting out their house maybe when they're on vacation, or a couple weeks a month or a couple weekends a month. Maybe you take in an Airbnb tenant for a weekend and see if you like that. Now, you want to be careful. You want to make sure you have the right homeowner's insurance. You only have to have enough wealth to retire. You only have to get to that benchmark once, and so you don't want anybody suing you. So make sure you have the right homeowner's insurance. Make sure you're complying with the local rules and regulations that Airbnb is supposed to comply with. But that can be a nice way to make a additional income and meet new people. Another thing to save some money, like in my town, restaurants tend to be pretty expensive. I think that's not just my town. I think that's throughout the United States. And I really enjoy going out with my friends for a coffee instead of going out to a restaurant. A nice cup of coffee is $5 or $10. $10 is kind of an expensive coffee. Most places you can get a $5 coffee, and so you connect with a friend, you spend some quality time with them, and it's $5 as opposed to $25 or $30, which is easy to spend, unfortunately, these days at a restaurant. Now, I shared with you there's a powerful money-saving tip that one of the founding fathers of the United States gave to us almost 300 years ago. And that's Benjamin Franklin, the famous saying, "A penny saved is a penny earned." Now, a penny today is nowhere near as valuable as it was during Benjamin Franklin's day. So maybe it should be $1 saved, or $20 saved is $20 earned. But it's even better than that, because you don't have to pay the tax on that, and you don't have the wear and tear on the stress in your life, or the physical exertion needed to earn $23 or $25 in order to have $20. And the more you can save while still having joy in your life, the sooner you can get to your retirement, or the sooner you can get to a more secure retirement. And if you're thinking about retiring early, I know you're really going to enjoy this video over here, where I talk about 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can. It's one of my most popular videos, and it really talks about just making sure you're intentional about whether you want to retire as soon as you can and what some of those benefits are. I know you're going to enjoy the video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, as the kids say, thumbs for like, subs for love, and leave me a comment. I really do enjoy the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.